Talk to me, kind of, why are you running?
Look, I think that as mayor, I've seen time and time again these failed policies that have come down from the state have not really helped our community, and they're not helping people get really good quality jobs. And so I think it's time that we have new leadership at the State House, and so that's why I've decided as mayor, I know how to, I get the issues that are facing us because I'm here where the rubber meets the road, but I think we can get it done as governor.
And what is the current governor not doing that you would be doing? Yes.
Look, I think for the past decade, they've had the same tired, old ideas and plans around how to create jobs, and it hasn't worked. When you're not leading the nation in job numbers, you're actually trailing the nation in job numbers for 50 straight months, considering the recession that the state came out of. That's not good enough, and we need to be creating more good quality jobs that you can raise a family on, and that's not happening here in Ohio.
What are the biggest issues facing Ohio, and how do you plan on tackling them?
Well, I think definitely making sure that we have quality jobs, and then also, really attacking the opiate epidemic that's a crisis in the state, and making sure that the drug companies are held accountable. I mean, we see that every day in Dayton, and the state has really had very little action and been pretty flat-footed on that issue.
What do you think, that was my next question, what do you think needs to happen to help this opiate epidemic? I think it seems to keep growing kind of over the weeks, and we see the big drug seizures.
Sure.
What do you think needs to happen?
Right, we see it every day in Dayton, the addiction and the loss of life around the opiate crisis. Look, I think we need to hold the drug companies accountable. They're the ones that started this. Ohio taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for this, for the services. We need to hold drug companies that started this mess in Ohio, and we need to make sure that they clean it up. And
I guess anything to say about Husted, he announced yesterday. What do you have to say about any of your opponents, I guess?
Well, on the Republican side, I think they have all the same old tired ideas that they've had for the past decade, and I think that Ohio is ready and needs to have new leadership. And, look, I believe Ohio's best days are ahead of it, should we get the right kind of leadership in the State House. And, failed ideas that haven't worked for Ohio for this past decade aren't going to hold it.
Any experience you're going to be taking from Dayton to the Capitol?
Absolutely. I think being a mayor and being a local executive where we've had to run a city and run it well, and we've seen a city that has really increased, is beating the national job numbers, is seeing such investment in our urban center, is investing in early childhood for high quality pre-K. Those are the ideas that really should happen for every Ohioan, not just Ohioans in Dayton.
Over your time as mayor, what do you think you've done right? What's some of your accomplishments you're proud of?
Look, I'm really proud of having universal pre-K for every single 4-year-old. I'm proud of the investment, nearly $1 billion in downtown Dayton. I'm proud of the number of young people that are moving into the community and buying a part of our community. And I'm proud of being an open and inclusive community. I think that's the diversity of Dayton is what makes it great.
And talk to me about tonight, kind of what's going on.
So it's my first fundraiser after announcing, so we should hope to have a nice event. We're excited to celebrate with Daytonians, many of whom have basically helped raise me through the past 20 years here in Dayton, to celebrate this next chapter of running for governor of Ohio.
Was there a turning point at some point when you realized that you want to run for governor? When was it that you realized you want to do this?
Yeah, so it's kind of surprising to me. I love being mayor. It's a great position. It's just been the thrill of my life to get to serve the citizens of Dayton. But when you're called to do more, and you think that people are not helping communities out, communities like Dayton, communities all across the state, you have to act. And so it was really that understanding of visiting other communities across the state, working with other mayors, other county commissioners, other township trustees, that we could do a lot better if we had different leadership in the State House.
Has it been something you kind of pondered for the last few months?
Yeah, past few months, I would say that's about right.
Yeah.
Does the fact that you're running unopposed, does that make it a lot easier to decide to run for this?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's helpful. We've been very open with Daytonians. It was announced before the filing deadline, and people have been really excited and really supportive. I think they want to see new leadership come from the state too. It'd be good for Dayton.
One thing, it seems that we're losing kind of the middle ground. It seems everyone is getting pushed out to the sides, of the left or on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you worry that kind of some of the steps that you've taken, we're not a sanctuary city, but publicly said that welcoming to immigrants, do you worry that some of that will come back to haunt you? And I use haunt kind of generously there when it comes to actual time for campaigning.
Look, I think if anybody knows me, they know I say what I believe, I do what I say, and I'm an action-oriented person. And I think that that is really what Ohio needs. And yeah, you're not going to get somebody here that is going to try to say something that they don't really mean. So, I mean, I think that that's been true as my time as mayor, and through this campaign, and hopefully if elected governor, it will be the same.
Last question. I believe it was in the release, you say that Kasich said that we're in a recession.
Yeah.
I have yet to find where he said that.
He went to the state reps in like November or December and said, hey, we're in a recession, because the state reps actually came back and talked about it.
All I could find though is him saying that we're on a course for a recession if we don't change. I was just wondering if he had said
Well,
that.
I mean, like, I think everybody took that to say we were coming into a recession, and then when he had to cut his budget $800 million, I think he'd probably say that continuously now. But he did use the R word, right?
We're pretty familiar with you in Dayton. What do you say to people, other Ohioans who aren't that familiar with you? What would you want them to know about you, I guess?
Look, I tell them the story of Dayton and what we've done here as a community. I talk about being a mayor and how important local communities are to the state. And then I also, talk to them about, some of the successes and opportunities we've had in the city that, has really had to do it on their own without much help from the state. And, really we talk about across the state what if communities did help from the state, what they could get accomplished. It could be a great state with partnerships between communities in the state.
And when you're looking ahead to your campaign, what's the biggest challenge that jumps out at you that you're facing?
Well, it's a big state, so I think just getting around and talking to a lot of people, it's something brand new for us, and we're really excited to get out there and talk about it. It's a little terrifying too, though, right? So here we go.
Well, how will you balance campaigning and being mayor?
Oh, the same way we've balanced other things. I mean, I feel really good. We have a great team at City Hall. The state is very drivable, and so if we're not in the community, we can get back here fast. We've been able to do that in the past. We'll continue to do that.
And I know we kind of saw this with Governor Kasich when he ran for president. He was out of Ohio for a good amount of time. Do you have a certain amount
I plan to be in Ohio.
Commitment, I guess, to be in Dayton? Do you plan to commit a certain amount of your time to be in Dayton?
Yeah, I think you'll see the same activity from me in Dayton. So I think you'll see that continue to go on. We still anticipate having porch tours. We've done neighborhood tours for every single neighborhood in the city of Dayton during my 4 years. We're still planning that, still planning to be in commission meetings, still planning to be accessible to you guys as we've always been.